Hello, welcome listeners to the Co-Creators podcast by Co-Create Work. Now, this is a rebrand of our previous podcast, which was the Co-Create Work podcast, and we are excited to share this new direction with you. I am Lakita Williams. I am founder and CEO of Co-Create Work, which is a culture consultancy that helps organizations, leaders, and individuals build and co-create the future of work.
And I am Chloe Anderson, managing partner at CoCreate Work. And as Lakita said, we are so excited to share this new direction of our podcast with you.
Yes, and what's happening at Chloe? I think it'll be helpful for us to talk about the context of this shift.
Yes. So, our previous podcast was really focused on helping founders and owners with step by step process for creating culture within organizations and how to do
Yeah.
that as a leader. And I loved that podcast. I love the guests that we had
Yes.
on the podcast. It was great. I think we still get people saying, "Oh, I listened to this episode and it was so helpful." So while that topic is great and critical, we believe now more than
Yeah.
ever, it's time to expand and bring people in to do this work of co creation. So we effectively want more people like us doing this work out there. So we're going to focus on providing frameworks, tools, resources, as well as real stories to anyone who wants to do this work so that we can really widen the scope of creating transformational culture no matter where you are. And this tracks also with the direction we've taken our company. Yes, we still do consulting. We're meeting with people regularly, and we're also helping other people learn how, know how, increase their skills in doing this work.
Absolutely. And we just, as a matter of fact, finished up with our very first group of co-creators who finished the Co-Create Work certification program, which is a 18-week program where you have to put in I don't want to say a lot, but quite a bit of effort.
Yeah,
I'm
but it's
scaring
work.
folks
It's work.
already. It's work. But we have just been amazed at what the co-creators in that program have done. And we look forward to actually bring in members of that cohort here on the Co-Creators podcast to talk about their co-creator style, what they learned, and how they're implementing it already. So one thing you might be thinking is why co-creation, right? We are named Co-Create Work for a reason, and the reason that the company was called Co-Create Work because we believe that building culture isn't just a one person job, right? Where it's not just a sage on the stage that says here's the list of things that you need to do. And I think the data around organizations and consultancies coming in to help to build culture or make recommendations is showing that, right? Is showing that the more effective cultural transformations are in organizations where people are involved who are within the organization versus just given a list of what to do. So we like to think about, okay, why co-creation? So co-creation is more than just collaboration. We think of it as a mindset and a methodology that values diverse perspectives, and it fosters a sense of shared ownership. We truly believe that co-creation is the best way to tackle complex challenges and create innovative solutions that benefit everyone involved because we have those different perspectives. We also have the genius that comes along with different backgrounds, ways of thinking in order to create the best solution for how we move forward. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have structure or we don't use a systemic approach for doing this work. We do, but it definitely understands that we don't get real long term results just from applying the same formula or the same process to every single organization that we partner with.
It also doesn't mean that we're not bringing our expertise into the room and
Yeah.
into the discussion. We definitely are. And understanding that we have particular expertise. And when we're working with a business, when anyone's working with a business, that business has expertise about what they do, right? And so we need to be in co creation with them. And
Yeah.
I love that. And I was not part of the organization when he founded it. So Co-Create Work is Lakita's genius and brilliance. And it really is so brilliant. And I think as we're talking, we will introduce our 5 components of culture. And one of them is autonomy and flexibility. And this aligns so much with that autonomy piece. It's so important that people feel shared ownership. So this is what we want to bring to you is how do you do this? Right? How do you
Yes.
help people do this?
Yeah, it's all about co-creating a forward path and empowering individuals so that we can create in community together. So one of the things you may be thinking is like, what is co-creation? Right? And so we want to share a pretty long, I think, definition and a few thoughts about how we think about co-creation. I feel like the word co-create is everywhere, Chloe. And we hear people use it all the time.
Yep.
So I think we just want to share some elements of co-creation so that as you meet and hear from our wonderful guests that we already have lined up, and we talk more about co-creation, you can feel really grounded in our perspective about it. So we believe that co-creation is a way forward together. It's about meeting people where they are and embracing individual strengths and knowledge that and combining them with yours, right? So recognizing the strengths, the knowledge from individuals combined with your knowledge. And that allows us to achieve higher outcomes together. To be a co-creator, you have to engage in deep listening, open communication, and excitement for innovation. You want to work with others to develop, to identify and develop creative solutions. And it's about your approach to culture change, collaboration, and driving impact.
Yes. And that is I jumped forward a little bit when I was talking about that autonomy piece, but it really is that excitement for working with the team. It's that deep listening that needs to happen. And one of the things that we are told often by our clients is thank you for meeting us where we are. And
Yes.
that is like a key to co-creation is understanding you can't create from something that doesn't exist. Like you've got to meet people where they are in order to co-create. Otherwise, it's like trying to run before you've crawled, right? You've got to
Yeah.
just be able to meet people where they are, and that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, and build together. So if you're listening here and have any interest in this, we already believe you're a co-creator. And so we encourage you to accept your leadership, right? As a co-creator, you are a leader, whether that's a formal leadership title or not. You're a leader who drives cultural change through collaboration and empowerment. You probably inspire innovation, foster well being, and create environments where everyone contributes to meaningful, lasting transformation. That's the reason that you're here. Now, we do that in a myriad of different ways and styles. We bring our expertise across different backgrounds, and you're going to hear that as we talk to various co creators who are consultants internally and externally, who live all over the globe, who are founders, owners of businesses, as well as employees who are at small businesses that have teams of 5 and they're helping the leader of the organization create culture from right where they are. You might also be someone who's thinking about co-creation at the community level and how you do that and how you bring transformational change. We've had
Yep.
co-creators in our program who were committed to co-creating with their fellow folks in their city and in their town a different way forward. So we think that everything that you are going to take in from this podcast and share, because we want to hear your feedback, we want to hear your ideas, is going to help you no matter what that mission is.
Absolutely. And this is really our introduction episode. So we're just sharing this so that you know what's coming. And from a content perspective, you can expect in each episode that we're going to explore different aspects of co creation. We are nothing if not practical when it comes to tools and strategies. So you will get those as part of this. And then you're going to hear from guests who will come and share their insight, as Lakita said, including leaders. I think one we didn't mention explicitly is HR business partners. There's so much that they're doing in terms of co-creation when it comes to culture. Like you're going to hear from myriad leaders in this, and those are the things you can expect, always with takeaways, always with actionable tools, resources, things that you can use. So that our goal is for this podcast to just be super useful. That's what
Yeah,
we want to do
I
so that
think
you
that's
can
our
go and be
jam.
impactful.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's our jam. Like if you we often get the feedback of like I came in to listen to this thing or work with you and like I'm leaving with a 5-step process because we are all about implementation. Again, you take that 5-step process and apply it in the way that makes the most sense. You bring your own expertise and background into it, but our goal is to make sure that you have information you can use. So we are thrilled about our upcoming guest interviews. We're going to be co-creating conversations together. We may have a bit of solo commentary in there as well, and we're going to include segments always. Again, as we mentioned, that has the key takeaways and actionable tips. You can expect new episodes to be released every Thursday. And we look forward to making sure it's sizable. I won't promise you 30 minutes, but
That's our goal.
that's our goal.
Yeah.
But we want it to be something that's digestible and that you can use.
Perfect. Is there anything else we want to share before we wrap up this introduction and kick off the episodes starting next week?
Yeah, I think if you are looking for ways to engage with us right away, I encourage you to join our email list, and you can do that at our website, which is cocreatework.com. It'll also be in the show notes. And to support you in this journey, please take the co-creator style quiz. It's completely free. It's on our website, and it'll tell you more about your specific co-creator style and your approach. And so far, we've had tons of people take it, and they have really been impressed with how much it aligns to their approach. And it helps them to kind of take ownership of that approach and feel good about it because there's all different style ways and styles of co-creation.
And true to who we are, you'll get a report that has practical tips for
Yes.
what to do with this and what to expect. So I think that's great. So that information will be in our show notes, and we look forward to being in community with you through this podcast, co-creating with you. And as always, Lakita, what do we
Thank you
say?
for, as always, thank you for your leadership.